What day are you leaving to go back? Friday or Saturday?
Next Thursday.
Oh, next Thursday.
Yeah.
So you can be for the game and everything.
Yeah. We go to the game. We see because we're we cover the team.
Okay, he's counting us down.
Oh shoot. Pro Football Writers Association member. Good morning and welcome back to Real Deal Sports Show, everybody. Remember, on YouTube, check us out. We got all the great interviews so far from this glorious week. Today's Thursday already. Another great day the Lord has made. It's sunny outside. We finally have sunshine.
Yes.
Sunshine outside. So check us out, like us, subscribe. Also check out On Stage Plus.
With my law firms represented players. We represented athletes, and so I got to understand the game of the sport, of the players, of the organization, the litigation that was involved, the endorsements, the promotion, and then negotiating the contract. So I began to think, man, we look up to athletes like they're celebrities. We put them on a pedestal. We think of them as our role models, but in actuality, they walked into their lawyer's office just like you and I would.
Yeah,
so I realized,
sure
they're ordinary people, but they have to have, just like us, a certain level of mental acuity in order to be able to perform on the field as well as off the field. And I was like, you know what? That is what's needed. They need a game changer to change the game. So when they're on the field, they're one way, and when they come home to their families and say, hey, honey, what's for dinner? That's a whole nother thing.
Hey, absolutely. And what are some of the aspects that you deal with their mental health?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we talk about physical health a lot. We talk about being strong, working out, making sure that we're physically healthy, but it's also necessarily make sure that we're mentally healthy as well.
Yes.
If COVID didn't do anything else, it brought a lot of mental health awareness to the surface. People who didn't think they may have had issues, and it doesn't necessarily have to be something traumatic. Fans, pressure from their coaches, plus pressure from the fellow players to perform at a certain level. Sometimes people are like, hey, I want you to bring home the win. Or even better, I want you to bring home the championship, bring home that ring. And so, that's a lot of pressure. And then they have to, go home and have a certain level of calmness to be able to conduct themselves, in a professional, ordinary way outside of,
and with your experience growing up, some of the pressures of real life.
Absolutely.
And let our audience know about you. We talked a little bit earlier about you had to help out at home with the kid, with your brothers and sisters and so forth.
Absolutely. So what a lot of people may not know is that, when I was 18 years old, first my mother passed away of cancer. She had breast cancer, and I did not want my siblings to go into the system. So at 18 years old, I actually raised 3 siblings. I'm talking about a young brother who was 4 years old, a young sister who at the time was 14 years old, and then I had another sister. We were about the same age, but my older sister was deaf and had developmental disabilities. So I was 18 years old taking care of a 4-year-old, 14-year-old, and my sister who we were about the same age, but she needed me to, sort of help give her, some guidance and help her, to be able to lead her life.
And how were you able to handle it? That's real life pressure.
That's real life. Well, one of the things is, I realized I had this really strong feeling that I didn't want them to go into the system, and so I felt like I was determined to not let that happen. So I feel like there was some strength there, and of course, a lot of prayer and help from my church community. But also there was me relying on this. I feel like one of my superpowers is just my strength from God and being resilient and tenacious. So and let me say, I think a lot of people think sometimes when bad things happen, when you have a death in the family, people tend to go down the wrong path. But you can definitely get back on track and still lead a successful life, even when there are obstacles and challenges.
And even after that pressure at an early age, you still persevered with the community help and everybody helping to raise the child, as they say in the saying there.
Absolutely.
It takes a village to raise a child.
It takes a village, for sure.
And I know she went into corporate America.
I did.
And worked at various law firms, corporate law firms. And you're in the D.C. area?
Yeah, I'm in the Washington, D.C. area. So I've worked for 3 Washington, D.C. law firms, very high-powered law firms. So we had some, really big clients. And like I said, we had the sports practice, and, I got to get to know some of the players and the organization, sort of ins and out of, what goes on in that field, in that industry.
So you bring a full gamut spectrum to the table.
Absolutely.
So Dr. Rhonda Wood is no joke. When she talks about bringing awareness of mental health for athletes. Hey, she can bring it not only for athletes, but for everyday people out there listening to the show. How can people get in contact with you?
So I think the best way to get in contact with me is my website. So it's drrhondamwood.com, and that's drrhondamwood. Or you can reach me on all social media platforms at Dr. Rhonda M. Wood.
And you're going to be speaking at a big event coming up in Detroit, Michigan. And when is that? When is that taking place?
That's this weekend. So actually, I just got back from London not too long ago. I spoke there.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
London?
Yes, London.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow,
Yes. So that was my
I want your flyer miles. Oh, the frequent flyer miles.
Yeah,
man.
Second time emceeing in London, but I've actually been to London. That was my fourth time going to London for a speaking engagement. I've been to France 3 times for a speaking engagement, and I've even been to Belgium. And so, now I do international speaking to raise awareness about mental health and to reduce the stigma on mental health, because I think that is so important and so needed in the world today. And so after I leave Las Vegas, I'm going to next travel to the
site so they can see her schedule. If she's in your neck of the woods, I recommend from Real Deal. So the Rad Man from Real Deal Sports Show says check her out.
Yes,
one more time, your
my
website.
drrhondamwood.com. That's drrhondamwood.
All righty. Thank you so much for coming on Real Deal Sports Show.
Thank you so much for having me.
And boy, you got a busy schedule.
Oh, yes.
All right. And remember, like us, subscribe to us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Check out the shows on YouTube, Real Deal Sports Show, On Stage Plus Productions. Thank you very much, Dr. Rhonda Wood, for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
All righty.